Disclaimer. All statements, analyses, and opinions provided are conjectural in nature and represent personal viewpoints only. Readers are strongly encouraged to perform their own independent research and due diligence. Welcome to Milkhouse News Alerts. Today we're going to touch on a man named Chris Bledsoe. I'm sure you've seen him all over TikTok and Instagram. He is everywhere right now, and he's very well known for a book he wrote called UFO of God. Now, he has made several predictions over the past few years, and one of them recently about a possible UFO exposure or disclosure. So we're going to touch on that. But first, Chuck, do you want to give us a little background about what happened to Chris in 2007?
Yeah. So Chris Bledsoe was a guy from North Carolina, I believe. And he grew up and had all kinds of horrific accidents, things that happened to him. He got burned on like 30% of his body one time from a car radiator.
I think two near-death experiences. Right?
Near-death experiences. Yes, there we go.
No.
Not horrible accidents. Yeah, some of them were near-death. Yeah. Fell from like a scaffolding he was a construction worker. His dad and his family had a construction company. They built homes and stuff. So he had an accident on a construction site. You know, a lot of pain and trauma in the guy's life. When he was 19, 20, he lost his girlfriend, found her dead in a car accident as he was leaving a party. You know, she literally died in his arms. But the 2007, 2008 area, right there when the crash happened, the housing bubble, we all remember.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
His company went under, right? And he lost everything, right? This guy went from having a house in a gated community with a pool and his kids went to the best school to living in a single wide, you know, on his parents' property. And, you know, so times were really, he went through ups, highs and lows, you know, so. But at that time, his dad called him to come back and work on a house, a project for him. They went to the coast and did this project, built a nice multi-million-dollar home. You know, him and his crew of 4 guys, and his son was one of those people. And after the project, they went back home. You know, and he was still depressed at this time. I think he had Crohn's disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
And all this too at the same time. And they went, you know, as a celebration for the end of the job, you know, they wanted him to take them fishing, right? So they went out to this. I think it was what was the name of that river? It was the Devil's.
It was called. Hang on, I got it here. Cape Fear River, North
Cape
Carolina.
Fear River, right? So they went to the Cape Fear River, and as you know, with all and this is where this incident happened. You know, if you think about it, they all have these weird names like Devil's Ridge.
Yeah, that's
Cape
what I thought.
Fear River,
Cape
right?
Fear River.
And he mentioned that, you know, it's like, why do they call it Cape Fear? You know, whatever. But they went there. They all set up. You know, they're in the pickup truck. They unload all their equipment. You know, set up. The guys are starting a fire. They get their fishing lines in the water. They got their rods set up. You know, on their stands. You know,
Right. Yeah. They started the fire. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, okay, these guys are all set. He's the manager type guy. So he's like, you know, I'm depressed. I'm going to get out of here. I just want to be by myself. Right. So it's like 4:00 or something. Yeah. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Something. He walks off back to where they came in, right, to this river to fish, goes back up this holler or this hill and get through this gate and stuff. And as he's going back there, he sits down and starts praying. And, you know, asking God, why is he doing this to me? Why, you know, what are you doing, this and that? And I'm really breaking this down to the bare minimum here, guys.
Right.
So
Yeah.
bear with me.
Basically, he's having a breakdown.
He's having a breakdown. He's reaching out,
asking
right?
for, sending a prayer out.
Yep. And he said he crests this hill and he sees the sun, right? What he thinks is the sun on top of this hill, and he gets over it and he realizes it's not the sun. It's like an orb in the sky, like huge red orb, blood red, looks like, and then another one beside it. And as he's watching this, he's starting to freak out because they start to come toward him. So he runs down the hill and hides in these reeds, thinking he's hiding from them, right? Time goes by and it gets dark, and he ends up going back to the camp, and it's nighttime. And he gets back and everybody's gone. There's nobody back there at the camp. And one of his workers runs up and said, "Where have you been? We've been looking for you for hours." He's like, "I was only gone looks I thought 45 minutes or whatever." He lost time, loss of time. Yeah. And he's like, "Your son's out there looking for you." And he's like, "Oh my God," he's freaking out. So he runs back the way he came, and he starts hollering off in the woods and stuff. And he hears a faint voice, "Dad, Dad," hollering for him. And he goes off in the woods and finds his son prone on the ground in the woods. And his son just breaks down, crying, bawling. "We were looking for you. What happened? Oh my God, Dad, where have you been? There were these things." And it turns out there were these beings there that held his son down and paralyzed him while his dad was being whatever happened with him. That's a story all in itself, man. That's crazy. Fast forward to, there's so many. I don't know how deep to get into this, but this guy went through so much stuff. When they got back home a few weeks later, I can't remember if it was weeks later, but had another visitation when his son was there, and they went out and it was just him and his son at home that time. But man, they had hunting dogs, a big kennel. They were big into that stuff at the time, so they had a bunch of dogs and stuff. And they went out to the kennels because they heard something out there or whatever. And it turns out they ran back to the house because something was out there. And they got in the house. His he was a smoker at the time. He's smoking in the second story, looking out the windows, and he sees this being coming up to the house. And I laugh, but I couldn't imagine how terrifying that would be to see one of those aliens, whatever you want to call them, spirits, entities coming up, look as you look out the window, and it terrified him and his son. They took off, went out, drove the truck out in the country into a hayfield and sat so they could see around them 360 degrees, for hundreds of yards, just because they were that paranoid and freaked out. But fast forward again to, there's so many strange events that went on with this guy. I mean, we're talking healing powers. How Povenmire ended up visiting him after MUFON did basically a hit piece on him and ostracized him and his whole family. They couldn't even go out to the grocery store without being made fun of. So hats off to MUFON for being pricks, but they really treated him bad. If you listen to the book UFO of God, you'll see, this is a little example. They went out for dinner for the production, and asked everybody what they wanted, came back and
wasn't he also giving predictions or something as well, right? Like he was his predictions around
that didn't start till way later. Yeah. Well, I mean, we jump right to that, but
I didn't know.
No, I know what you're talking about, Kyle. It's hard to find, unless you've read UFO of God, it's hard to find the exact timeline. He's had so much in his life that's supernatural and extraordinary. That's just, it blows your mind. But with his predictions, I think you want to get into that right now, like the most recent one.
Well, it's not just that, but I know he has. So I just want to say he's had extra, or I should say, he's had encounters with basically the third or fourth kind, but basically what in interpreted as this time, is that what it's called whenever you have physical contact with it?
Fourth kind, yeah.
I think that's fourth kind. So we'll say he's had encountered the fourth kind with beings. Started whenever he had trauma, he reached out for prayers, right? And then as time went on, it progressed and it got stronger with them. And so
you zoomed in on him.
He can hear you.
Weird.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the attention came from when he spoke at UFO conferences, and I think that attracted the attention of the government because isn't one of
I think they were on to him before that, really. Yeah.
Because a lot of his prediction given to the lady.
The lady, yeah. The first night that she came to him, it was insane, man. What happened? He woke up out of bed from a dead sleep with the sound of a voice of multitudes. So because he was denying them. He's like, this is not worth
Right.
my time. You guys aren't
Right.
real. And they showed him, she came out. It's just, yeah, it's the
What
healing
do you
thing. I
think the
threw that
lady
in there
was?
because it's like I told you earlier today when he was healing stuff, it wasn't, um, he would always, it wasn't me. It's he called it the Holy Spirit moving through him. His
Right.
dog, there's a
Right.
part in there about his dog, having a blood gushing out of its neck. And it's a dog he had for years. And he just put his hands on it with a rag and started praying to God to heal it. And had witnesses there. They had video of it, everything. And he pulled his hands away and it was completely fine, out of just random. I don't know. And
Hmm.
healed a kid of cancer, completely healed the kid. And that was something that the government people came to him with, a little project. But the predictions, I don't know, exactly
Well,
when he came out with those exactly. But
yeah, and that's confusing. I know a lot of this is
that was
blown
it.
up.
Sorry, that was least of the interesting thing
No,
about the book.
no, I mean
No,
no.
you're fine.
I think a lot of the attention he's getting now is from the interview he did in the Sean Ryan show.
Oh yeah, the recent one, yeah.
And I think his prediction of in a nutshell surrounding Easter of this year, so 2026. So it's like when Israel and Iran start exchanging missiles, something like that, some kind of feud. Within the midst of that conflict, orbs or UFOs will show up. Then a worldwide disclosure will happen. And it could either happen this year or Easter, is what he said in the Sean Ryan show. Like if it will happen, what, Sunday is Easter?
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm.
The great disclosure, whatever you want to call it, they're
yeah.
gonna, the enlightening, whatever you want to, yeah.
Yeah, the great enlightenment, like a shift, a
Enlightenment,
major
a
shift
shift,
within the
yeah,
world
paradigm shift in the
that's going to
world, yeah.
change everything
Everything.
as we know it.
Yeah.
Now, I think for the way we think, it's about time something changes. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think there is validity to what he's saying? I feel I've researched a lot of people that have listened to his predictions and even broke down his body language when he's
Mhm.
talking, especially on the Sean Ryan. He
He's
seems
sincere.
like he's telling the truth. He
He's
seems like a
sincere.
very truthful
The
person.
truth as he sees it, as he knows it, I believe, yeah.
And he seems fearful too. He's not.
Yeah.
This isn't exactly a joyous thing, but he's kind of,
Yeah.
nervous about it. So what do you think about it? Do you think this
He,
is legit?
he
Do you
also,
think it's possible?
he also mentioned back, remember, what was it last year with all the drones that were in the sky
Yeah. Yeah.
everywhere. So then the military started sending up their drones that were obviously
Yeah, dude.
drones,
In
not orbs.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That stuff was coming out of the ocean and stuff, man.
Yeah.
They were orbs. I saw videos from people, and what they saw were orbs. Those weren't drones, dude. Those were,
Well, MH370 literally was both, though. I mean, I think honestly, if you're looking for credibility, you can go on many podcasts. Even Candace Owens has it on hers and many others. But like of the whole interview of MH370, and you've seen where they're going in they're rotating around the spacecraft and then it just blips out. So they obviously have
yeah,
Oh, flight,
yeah, flight
the
MH
Malaysian flight.
yeah, Malaysian
Yeah.
MH370. And but that's authentic because that was
yeah,
not faked and it
Right.
was they were in sync and both of those came from military personnel and
yeah,
the whistleblowers behind those, which you won't find because with like this is who like for in definition of what you want to find, you have to dig and dig and dig, but they are there. They were reprimanded for their actions for sure, but you won't it won't be under what you think it is, or what whatever they get court-martialed for or have to sit in prison for. It's
When
it
did that 370 thing happen? Is that?
114, right? Oh, I think Obama was in office. I'm pretty sure it was
Oh, that
20.
was a while back. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so it was 12 years ago, but it's still that right there is really most credible I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, you're right. That's real authentic footage.
I'm not gonna
I
lie,
mean, how do you explain? We don't, as far as we
I
know,
haven't
we
seen
don't
it.
have orbs.
you've never seen that?
You've never seen it?
Google
There were orbs in it?
Just look
Yeah.
just Candace
There's
Owens
three of them.
podcast, MH370, and then
Yeah,
You can
Sounds like that whole
also,
flight got taken to another
yeah,
dimension.
yeah, it did.
I wonder what the significance of that particular flight was.
I don't know. Maybe there's somebody on it
Were
they
there
really
billionaires
wanted.
on it?
Well, Chinese
They don't want
sent,
them.
yeah, the Chinese sent the Americans as basically a satellite image of the plane getting in the three orbs. They seen it, I guess.
Triangulated around it.
Well, yeah, from satellite images or whatever, but
Yeah.
basically saying, "Hey, we seen this," letting us know. So, Chinese are
Yeah.
aware of that at least. I mean, I'm
But
sure Russia.
like I was saying, though, the orb thing, I wonder what the government will do if there is a disclosure act that's perpetrated by a outside entity or a spiritual realm. They can't, I could see them try to capitalize on it, but I don't think they're going to stop anything like that. That's way out of their league. So if
Dare
something
I
happens,
say they know it's coming?
they know. I mean, look, they got like the Vatican,
Mhm.
archives that they've got stuff. They
All the
know
secrets they're
stuff.
holding
All the
Yeah,
on.
secrets. They're
Vatican
way
Bank.
more, in tune with what's going to come or what's been prophesized but and that's why I feel bad for Chris Bledsoe a little bit because I think he's a nice guy and he's still
Yeah.
one of those guys. He's not like us. We're aware of what the government. I mean, I'm sure he has some inkling of it, but he seems really trusting and. Maybe he is
Oh
for a
yeah.
reason. Maybe he understands that hey, they have no power over me, even if they are the government. That's small potatoes. But
Well, it's like a treatment. It's like it's like actually a teaching. So when you're one thing one of the teachings was like they were. I can't remember if it was Jesus or whatever it was. They were getting marched to Rome and then offered to carry their prisoners or their captors stuff for them. So it's basically like being kind to even the people that
yeah,
hold you captive. So it's a
yeah,
higher
Mhm.
principle. So it's if you look at, I mean, that's what I kind of interpreted it when you said it, but. Because I
yep.
mean, if you think about it, the government doesn't hold any power over you, and like they're powerless, like in the end. So I mean, they hold
In the real,
in this realm, but
yeah.
you know,
So I think what's happening, and it's all his predictions about the Star of Regulus will be in line with the Sphinx in
Yeah.
between, and the star will be it's the red, it'll be red. And astronomers have already predicted, yes, the star will be red at this time for whatever reason. I don't know the
Hmm.
ins and outs of it, but normally it's blue.
Yes. Yep.
But and that was something to do with ancient Egyptian stuff too. About there was an archaeologist looking, there was some sort of prophecy about that happening. The red ruby between the paws,
Yes.
which would translate into no, it's not the ruby, it's a star. It's a red star. It's the dawning of a new age. It's coming.
Do you know if that was
hmm
predicted for Easter this year, or this year at least?
It was predicted sometime in this area, general area, but I don't know if they named like exact dates. But
For like Regulus to be red instead of blue.
reread, yeah, I don't know.
So this image here, this is on the Facebook of the National Air and Space Intelligence Center. So on the top it says National Air and Space Intelligence Center, and below it National Space Intelligence Center.
Hmm.
that's the
Those
Do
are
you know
Sphinx.
the
it?
Yeah,
Oh
emblems.
yeah, the emblems.
it
Yes,
looks like a
exactly. See the
serpent
star,
and the
yeah,
Sphinx
above the
Right,
Sphinx.
right
Yeah,
away. You see, okay,
yeah,
right here where my mouse is.
yeah.
airplane
There's, I'm assuming that's,
spacecraft.
well, it could be a spacecraft or it could be,
The B-2 bomber.
yeah,
We know we like sending those over
the two
Iran.
Bogey and
bombers.
Mount. We got one.
Yeah, bogey about.
Yeah.
So okay, so that might be Polaris as they claim,
Yeah,
but it could be Regulus. And then you have the Sphinx, which is
yeah.
odd.
Why add that to a national
Why
air and
add,
space?
right? And you notice the whole thing is within a shield, but then you
Mhm.
have the
The
world with the
world,
globe behind it, and then it has
right?
these kind of lines, which I believe is supposed to be like a barrier protecting, like a metaphor for protecting the Earth.
Oh,
Now,
gotcha.
the most
Yeah,
bizarre one is the National Space Intelligence Center, the
intelligence
one below
center.
it.
Yeah, same similar thing with this globe with the lines and the Sphinx head and the star and a Star Trek in a Star Trek shape.
Yeah, but they
It's
both
in
have
Star Trek
that
shape.
star. The emblem is the same as the spacecraft on top. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Satan
It's this.
it's
Yeah,
Satan's of superior over the Sphinx because
Yeah,
the serpent and
e-
both looking at the
exactly. And
Polaris.
And
And
like you
Polaris
just
never
said,
moves. Just so we're clear, Polaris never moves. You
right,
know that.
right. And the Sphinx is looking directly at it, like they're lined up. If you want to
Yep.
say between its paws, that's what it would be. And notice
Yeah.
it's hovering over the world or the globe, which I thought was really interesting.
So what you're saying is they're already
Globe. You
ready for
say
this
globe. I
event.
like that. It's a funny word.
Yes, that's what it seems like to me. So I
It's
think,
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that is actually how it's supposed to be interpreted. But that's But I would
Yeah.
actually look at it as in one side versus the other because you see one blue with another light blue. So it's like some people are just a little bit different. But what side you bet? It's like you got blue fighting blue.
Or
right,
back the blue. Worldwide. Get in line, folks.
yeah,
The UN blue.
The UN blue. We'll put a jackboot in your neck.
I heard some UN got some friendly fire the other day in Lebanon, so not sure by who, but I heard that.
That was
UN.
probably an assassination.
Listen, no speculation. Saying we know tomahawks get dropped, and it's not funny. But
Right, but I'm
I mean,
saying,
I'm just
yeah,
saying.
I don't trust anybody anymore, man.
yeah.
If somebody on my side got killed, I'm thinking, what did they know?
Yeah, it's like when you start bombing things and you start killing innocent people, and especially when you're killing children, you're going no matter what side you're on, you better make sure that you be in the right because right nowadays you're on the telescope.
Oh yeah,
You're on a
you
scope.
can't.
You're on a
Everything's
sight.
recorded. Everything's documented.
Yeah, you can try to suppress all
Monitored,
you
yeah.
want. Truth's gonna come out.
Yeah, we live in a surveillance state, and it's getting worse by the
Yes,
day.
it's a super surveillance state, man.
Yeah.
And that's what even scares me even worse is like all this stuff that's coming out, man, and then seeing those emblems that you just put on there.
Hmm.
That makes me think, dude, they know what's going on. Here
It's
we go.
symbolism.
We're going to usher in the new world order that Bush
Yep.
talked about when I was in
I seen a
elementary
video the
school.
other day that was really cool about the all the money, ones to 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, and if you the way you fold them the same way every time and it shows the towers crumbling, like everything's just not what you think it is, It's really weird you can how they knew this, like just when they started making the money too, like it would happen beforehand.
Oh, there's so much symbolism in currency.
Yeah, but like that's what people are so great for. Some like
Oh yeah.
social media is great for those people they go down that rabbit hole and they're like, hey everyone, look what I learned. And then everyone learns that and they're like, you know what, that dude wasn't lying. And then you're like, okay, so and you move along down the way, like down the road and you find out, man, I've been lied to all along. So you
Oh
start
yeah.
just not believing anything.
I believe there's a good illustration by Plato where
Mhm.
it shows like a kind of like a not a cave, but kind of like an ant, cavern, and it shows someone on the very bottom watching this wall that's someone's behind him portraying
Oh, you're
shadows
talking
of
about
the
the
wall.
shadows on the wall? Yeah, the
Yeah, and then
perception of reality,
yeah,
and
and then they climb up, and then there's the
realize
actual
that the whole
reality.
thing's been orchestrated
Yep.
behind the curtain. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a crazy metaphor that he came up with for what reality possibly is, and it ties into the whole Matrix thing and all that. This reality that we're in.
It does.
A simple way to illustrate it.
Yes. And I wanted to touch on Chris Bledsoe did mention that he thinks it's possible Christ might return, but I just pulled a verse from Matthew 24:35-37. So
Hmm.
heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But no one knows the day or the hour. No, not even the angels in heaven know. The Son does not know. Only the Father knows. When the Son of Man comes, it will be the same as when Noah lived.
What's that mean? That last line.
So
So
go ahead, Kyle.
when the Son of Man comes, the Son of Man is the Messiah. So
Yeah.
like whenever the
Yeah,
Messiah
I just
actually
want to know
comes
about
back,
the last little bit there.
the Son does not know, but only the Father
It will be
knows.
the same as when Noah lived. What's that
Yeah.
mean?
So it is commonly interpreted as what do we know what happened in the days of Noah? God flooded the world, right? And Noah and
Mhm.
his 3 sons and his 3 wives, and Noah's wife was spared. That
Right.
the world was so horrible, right? Full of hybrids and sin. And it talked about, men thought of evil all the time. That the world will be in a similar state when
Oh, okay.
Christ
Well,
returns again.
Yeah,
So
right.
I could
that's why we
almost.
talk about all this fun stuff about hybrids and giants, Nephilim, all the stuff. and it's
Will be
making a
gone.
return. It is on the horizon. That's why if this Chris Bledsoe prediction is correct for the either this year or Easter or maybe next year, whatever, that it's not off the wall because these things have to get a lot stranger. This world has to become chaotic and
Right.
supernatural before Christ returns because it says so right there. So
Hmm.
That's what
Yeah.
that means.
that's what that means. That is the
Yeah.
common interpret. That's how I interpret it, and
That's
it just
exactly how I
makes sense
interpret
to
it too.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because it was the land was, just Noah was like the only pure bloodline. So basically, what it's saying is like once that pure,
Yes.
and there's only like one few or few pure people left. That's when he comes back eventually. But it's not the first coming of the Christ that people are going to think is the actual Christ is going to be the Antichrist, and then really it's going to
Right.
be, and then
Right.
the guy that starts performing all these miracles, like it's the second guy that comes and like, nah, buddy, now it's checkmate. So he just
Which
says,
they're
don't be
building
deceived.
the third temple right as we speak in real time, which the Antichrist will sit on and claim himself to be God. Because remember,
Yeah.
there's the tribulation, which is 3.5 years of peace, 3.5 years of war and terribleness. But I know, what was I thinking? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'll come back to it if I think of it.
I understand how that goes. I feel you, but it was like, yeah, it was peace, and then but oh yeah, one thing I was taught too is that once the Antichrist is here, the Christ does not exist on the earth, whatever. Once he's here, they're not living together. There's no such thing. He's not here.
Is it the Holy Spirit is taken out of the world?
I believe so.
Is that
Like
what you're
it's
talking
something
about?
I'm not saying your prayers won't be answered, but you're just gonna have.
Right.
You're not gonna. You're
That
gonna. That's like a
feeling
trick.
of, I
You're
want,
being.
dare I say, redemption is gone.
It's how his son felt. All right. That's why he said the
Yes.
son will not know. All right.
Right.
Yahusha, Messiah and Yahuwah, they are different. Even though they're the same, they both have to be separated from each other, even like he's like, why have you forsaken me? Because he's like,
Right.
he had the ability to cut off from him. That's why he's not,
Yes.
they are the same, of the same, but not the same being. And you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's because it has to be you. That's like everyone always say, oh, it's the same being. Well, it's not. You pray through him, the Messiah, to the Father
Right.
because he's the only one that's made that sacrifice. That's why, he's
Right.
saying that we all gonna have to go through this. It's not that I did this for everyone. No, this is what he's showing everyone. This is what we're all gonna have to go through. So,
Yes. Yeah. Well put, dude. Yeah. I remember what I was going to say to the lineage. So Noah and his family, the significance people don't talk about. So it was Noah, his wife, three sons, and their wives. And they were the only ones in the entire world that were pure blood, pure
correct.
human blood. And I believe so. There were eight of them. There are actual eight different blood types, like original blood types, which is interesting. But
That is,
yeah, but that bloodline had to remain pure in order for Christ to be born and be fully human. So when Christ died, he didn't just die for Jew and Gentile. He died, like you said earlier, Kyle, he died for everyone.
hmm
And he made an even playing field for all people. But yeah, that line had to be pure all the way down. He's zooming in tonight.
no, it did too, didn't it?
The
I don't
camera
know what.
likes you, man.
Hello.
Thank you,
Uh,
Malaysian.
but
But
like you guys said earlier, though, or we talked about, I hope something massive does happen at this point. I mean, just the day to day, just the world where $4 a gallon on gas. I mean, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come
Yeah.
on,
So
man. Seriously. But
yeah,
no, I mean, just the way it's headed, man. We don't feel ever since COVID happened in
yeah,
2008 and everything just leading up to this, it's just been not the same as it was.
dude,
People
I
don't
totally
interact the same. Life don't feel the same.
no.
no,
The whole coronavirus thing, it did some major damage.
Major
And yeah, you're right.
psychological damage to
Yeah,
people.
set kids
yeah,
behind so much, and
Set kids behind, set all of, yeah.
yeah.
but I see kids really because I mean, grown-ups. I mean, the kids are resilient, yes, but grown-ups are prepared. So, there's a difference between, knowing what you're seeing and then like not knowing what's coming at you and just running around with like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to figure out like, hey, everyone else is doing this, maybe I should. And my parents crazy, everything you see, like you got TikTok, social media, and everyone's minds warped differently by every video they see. Their algorithm just knows, and you just hope they stand a chance because that algorithm's pretty dang smart. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Brick by
Yeah.
brick, we
Hook,
make
line,
them.
sinker.
But yeah, it hasn't felt the same, if you want to say that, since COVID started. And I feel like we're just going downhill. But yeah, as a Bible believer, things have to get a lot crazier before Christ returns the second time.
Well, let's put it this way. So we started a war with Iran during Ramadan, right? During their holy festival thing, basically. And that was like right after day after my birthday. Wake up, gotta work. We're at war, great too, And then the thing about that is, and then you got Easter coming. It's actually more. I feel like it's bad for us. Like it's bad juju. It's really bad karma because I mean,
Because this prediction is on
no,
Easter.
not no, not that it's on Easter. It's just that everything lining up. Like it's just if it happens to be like he was right. Not even saying it's like he's right and like everything that he says like coming the Messiah, but like this really starts a new like he would say a paradigm shift.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think he's actually said that the Messiah is coming back per se.
Right.
It's a great awakening. New there were certain things
Consciousness.
will be
Consciousness.
unveiled. The curtains will be drawn back. These beings will be something. They're going to make themselves known. Not necessarily the Jesus. I don't know. I think that just came from being around this time of the year, around Easter.
Mm.
I think what he's foretelling is more of they're tired of seeing what's happening for what, or that's just my mind. Whatever. Now is the time for them to make their presence known and to say, "Hey, we exist. This is this is reality. Open your eyes. Wake up, people. The world is much bigger. The universe is much bigger than you know. Time to stop worrying about the silly things in life
Or maybe they say the world's smaller than you think.
or tighter than you think. Yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying
Sure.
because that would make, if the world was big, I don't know. I say the world is bigger than what we know, but the universe might be smaller than what we know. So,
Well, they say that each of us is we're all gods. God. Every person is is part of God.
yeah,
We're all
right.
a
Sorry,
piece of
that's
it.
correct.
Yeah, I mean, we're all a fraction of the greater consciousness. We just don't realize our potential. We've forgotten. We're like lost. And Chris Bledsoe was given a I'll call it an organism, but the beings gave him a organism and told him to keep this and handed it to him. He said it felt like a hedgehog, and they gave it to him out by the woods by his kennel, and he was like scared him at first. They handed him this lump. It's alive, and he's feeling around. It's just a lump of like flesh, not flesh, but like fur and spines, and you can feel bones in it, but there's no head, no tail. And they said this is a metaphor for what you humans are right now. You're just blind and dumb to everything around you. You're just like a lump of flesh. You don't realize what you're capable of. You can't see anything, can't say anything, do anything. Keep this as a reminder as what you are. We're trying to enlighten you is what they were doing. And he said to put it in his kennel in an empty kennel, and it wasn't there later, but that happened. It's just the weirdest thing. But
Unlimited power.
I think is if you think about it,
This is my precious.
yeah, it's this weird lump, and he said it freaked him out, and they said he dropped it at first, and he had to pick it up, and he said, "No, you keep that as a reminder," and he put it back in this kennel, and he never went into more detail about it, but other things
Fed it.
happened too. The
They had
the
a
government.
pet for life, or like it just. I
He,
feel like it's
he,
a major inconvenience. Like I
it's
don't
it's a
want.
crazy thing to add to the story, right?
Mhm.
And then never revisit it later.
No joke.
I
No
kept
kidding.
wondering throughout
Yeah,
the
you're
rest
like,
of the
wait,
book,
wait,
what
wait.
is that
You have a
I'm
thing?
gonna
little
wonder about
creature?
that forever. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna have to, yeah. We're gonna
but it
circle
hadn't
back.
had no legs, no arms, and nothing. It was just a lump. And
So you definitely have to take it outside for it to potty. And that's just
But
Man.
It
I didn't
sounds
know
like
if
the
it could.
beginning of Gremlins when he first buys
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Mogwai.
Don't feed it after midnight. Don't get
Well,
That's
I just
right.
have to get, I'd
Don't
have to
get it
hide it from
wet.
my kids because they think it was slime or something. So, oh
That's weird,
man,
man.
it'd be terrible. I feel sorry. Yeah, that's just a curse.
Yeah.
If you go on his website, I subscribe to Chris Bledsoe's Instagram account, and he's got these every day. He's posting these orbs.
Yeah. I watched one of those. Yeah.
They're
He can summon
very.
them.
He can
Remote
summon
viewing.
them.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And remote viewing, and that's the thing. When he told somebody in the CIA about that, his prediction the first time, instantly he said that's the first thing they did. They put
Yeah.
remote viewers on it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that program has to be so far advanced that we have
Oh,
no idea what
so
they.
sophisticated, like
Yeah,
movie level or
consciousness.
beyond.
Yeah, those people that are able to do that are. I bet it's unreal.
Hmm.
They're given a target, and the target is just like a 9-digit number. They're given no other details, and that's what they focus in on, that number or whatever. And somehow they're able to pull that stuff from the ether and give a picture and a general idea of what it is. And
All right, Neo. That's what it sounds like. What it sounds like. The number, numbers on the wall. No, no, no. And you guys ever
yeah,
seen the video like where like they
the lasers.
the lasers? Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. The
yeah,
DMT, when they could
yeah.
do DMT and they look into that and they can see through the wall, and it's like they're looking into another portal, another dimension. And there's the numbers and the characters. They say they look like weird hieroglyphics or another language. Yeah,
Very.
it's so wild.
This reminds me of the Book of Enoch so much. Everything we talk about, like this, we should be doing this. I'm like, no, this feels like I have the tree of knowledge and too much of it. I don't know. I'm sorry, but it's just that's too much.
Yeah,
I want to be a simpleton, I think. Sometimes. Maybe do I want
All
to know
right,
everything?
Kyle. You weren't gifted with that.
No, no, it's
Things.
not that. I believe me, I'm just saying that this sounds like sounds cool, but would you really want to
what is
know?
it? I don't know. I mean, I think that there's just different levels of enlightenment and consciousness, and that's what we're on a path to keep elevating ourselves and basically being better souls, forgetting
Yeah,
about the being unkind to people and being selfish and greedy and envious and vindictive. The idea is to put all that behind. That is low frequency stuff, and that's the idea of
I
life.
couldn't agree any.
That's why we're here to elevate ourselves, our souls to a. And I'm the first one to be guilty of it, man. I got a terrible temper. Um, just yeah. I mean, but at the same time, it makes me sick when in those times when you're by yourself thinking about how you act around people, and it's soul crushing. But you want to be a better person, but
It's
Yeah,
called
it's
self-reflection. Yep.
hard to reflect on yourself. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's what separates you apart from everyone else is wanting to be better and not thinking you're better than everyone already. Narcissism sucks. I hate it. Stay away from it as much as I can. I don't even want people to be around people that are narcissistic.
No.
It's
It's such
toxic.
yeah,
a
self-centered.
stinky
Yep.
attribute. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the worst.
I mean, we
Yeah,
always
no,
want to be
you're right.
right, but there's a difference between like, hey,
Yeah,
it's like if you want to be right, then just say stuff that isn't
it's
done.
correct.
Yeah.
But don't. Yeah, there's a difference between being, like you said, between wanting to be right and having that air of
I like
I'm
yours better.
superior.
I like to say all kinds of things that make me sound dumb because it just makes me laugh. But you're like, be correct, whatever. I mean, I'm willing to put my foot in my mouth every now and then for a laugh, but
But I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just yeah. I don't know, man. It's yeah. I don't even know what I was going to say, but this whole Chris Bledsoe thing that we're talking about, it's just it's insane. And like I said, my wife and kids, they put a note in their phone last year or a year and a half ago when I told them that this was going to happen
hmm.
as a reminder because because I'm always telling them crazy stuff and they
no
wanted to
joke.
have a note to say you're wrong.
Yeah.
Just something to come back and say, but I don't know.
Yeah, because you're right. It's not a matter of you trying to be right, like you called
No,
it. It's
no,
more.
I'm interested in it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like I said, am I wrong for saying I hope Chris Bledsoe's right? Maybe. Maybe I'll regret saying that, but I kind of do hope he's right. I feel this, I'm not saying the change would bring good things, but I'm saying that it would definitely put your priorities in focus. You would
Yeah.
definitely focus on your family and what really matters. And it would change things for the better, I think. If orbs, UFOs entered the picture, that it became a disclosure. It's kind of like
A
the movie
disclosure.
Arrival. Have you seen that with what's the red haired lady?
Arrival.
Yeah, Arrival. Um I cannot remember her name right now. It was made a few years ago, but it's kind of the same concept where
Oh, it's that redheaded chick. Yeah. Let me see.
Amy something maybe.
Um,
Um
Jeremy Renner, Michael something, and I can't see the
Amy Adams.
Amy
That's
Adams. That's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's
Yeah,
the
that would be.
same idea where orbs just show up. Now, in the film, there's no conflict between Israel and Iran, but
Right.
worldwide orbs show up, and she's some kind of linguist that figures out how to communicate with them. And it's a good film. It's a deeper film, but you know, if something like that were to happen, is to happen, time will tell in just a few days. And if it doesn't happen, then we carry on. But it's interesting how much traction this is getting.
Yeah, it's getting crazy. I think everybody, like we're just saying, everybody's yearning for something bigger,
Yeah,
something spiritual, something meaningful.
yeah,
Yeah, but don't
yeah.
be deceived. That's the thing. I'm
Yeah,
stuck
no,
in
I'm not.
Hollywood.
I'm not saying that. I guess, but
I'm not saying yeah you are. I'm just saying like to everyone, like
exactly. Yes, I
you
don't want it to
know.
be Jesus is here and he said to do everything that the bushes tell me to do. That's the idea of what you're saying, right?
So you're saying
Do
fly a
everything that
plane
the
for
government tells you to
$2?
do. Jesus came and said it was so.
Yeah.
That's a boiled down version of what I don't want to happen. I want to say, oh, we're all in trouble. Um, the angels came down and they said that the UN is the only way to make this happen. So
The
there we
UN, yeah,
yeah, there we go.
buddy.
So everybody get in
Yeah.
line and you know, we'll all be serfs. Well, we already are, but you know.
Yeah, the whole thing could be a false flag too. Like you said
Yes.
earlier, the government could
Yes.
totally capitalize on an
Yes.
event like this, whether they announce
Yeah.
it or not.
Just a simple astronomical event.
Yeah.
They could be building all this behind the scenes and we don't know it.
What's the best way to stop a war?
Yeah. It's stop it in its tracks. If
Mm,
worldwide there's orbs or UFOs
Right.
everywhere.
Right.
yeah,
Imagine
I'm
going to
just saying
work.
like you don't think they have like a guys? We need to get out of jail free card. I've been watching the plane.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think
Well,
it's what.
Werner von Braun predicted it, right? On his deathbed. He said that's the final ace
Yes,
up
he
their
did.
sleeve.
Yeah.
Is a false alien invasion
Well,
Bill,
orchestrated
Bill
by
Schneider.
well,
Yeah.
that was yeah on his deathbed maybe, but on his even on his headstone it says, "God, the firmament shows God's handiwork, or it's proof
Yeah.
of God's handiwork." Right in Psalms, it's a
Yep.
psalm.
Mm.
So I mean, there's that. I'm almost convinced that the Van Allen radiation belt or something was created by Operation Fishbowl because all the nukes. But you know what? I don't know. I just feel like
Yeah. I'm with you there.
like it's because you detonate that many nukes in the atmosphere, like you'll never
Yeah.
know if anything
I
goes
think I
on.
saw that somewhere. What was it? It was I forget what documentary it was, but it showed the timeline of nuclear launches worldwide, and it showed all the major countries. And in the 40s, it was like one or two, United States and Russia, and then boom, it's like over time, it's like thousands that the United States have launched, have
Hmm.
detonated,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
not including all the rest of the countries. So yeah, that could be, yeah, that can't be
My
good.
my my biggest thing is like how are you going to be able to not can turn off a nuclear reactor in Fukushima with a robot because it melts, but be able to send an airplane past the Van Allen radiation belt, which is astronomically,
Yeah,
astronomically,
yeah, yeah.
astronomically higher. So
We
most
drew it
times,
on a whiteboard, dude, one time, right? So a whiteboard in the maintenance shop. We had me and my buddy were talking about we drew a circle that was the Earth, right? And then the moon, right, beside it.
Mhm.
And then we drew no, we drew a circle and then we drew the moon where it would be in relation to like and it was just miles, across the whole whiteboard, to where
Right.
the space station was. It was space station and Earth, and it was like, nah, we haven't been there, man.
No,
Especially when you have to go through that radiation field. I mean, that's unsurvivable. And nope.
no, no. It's the firmament. That's why all the rockets look like they're going through water when they hit a certain
Yeah.
point.
Well,
And
what happens whenever you go ahead? Sorry, go.
I seen a thing about a place up in Canada where they found the Mars terrain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You sent that. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
yeah,
like,
dude.
dude, come on, bro. It's all
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
It's
then
all,
got
but
plans.
that leads me to believe that all this could definitely be a false flag event.
False flag. Yeah.
Chris Bledsoe could be um, a
Yep.
useful idiot for him.
Yep.
He
Yes,
because
he could
he was already Pentecostal.
Yeah, yeah.
Or I think it was
Programmed from the get go.
yeah, he was already susceptible to
Yep.
believing in this stuff. So then they come and they swoop in with their technology that they've got from Roswell 80,000 years ago, what it seems like now. Could you imagine having that technology back then and what they've developed it into now?
Mhm.
Remote viewing,
Well, we have
CIA ops.
it's a what would they say? It's a flying saucer. It's an air balloon. 2 days in
Yeah,
one day.
yeah, a weather balloon.
Yeah, yeah, weather
And
balloon.
even that guy that found it, he was still alive. And I interviewed him. He said, "No, it was not. I was there. It was a spaceship. There were bodies.
Yep.
I handled the wreckage. It was real. I mean, that whole thing. If anybody still believes that was a weather balloon, they are retarded.
NPC.
They
I
need to
actually
take a
like the
drug
word
test.
NPC nowadays.
NPCs,
I
yes.
love NPCs because
Yeah,
like
they're an NPC. Yeah,
There's
because
a lot of them.
So imagine having that technology in 1947, around the time they figured out the nuclear bomb, and having access to that with the best minds in the world, the best physicists, the best scientists working underground in a unlimited budget, thanks to
Yep.
the taxpayers of America, what they could come up with.
yeah,
So yeah,
50-some billion dollars a day.
yeah, no problem, man. Blank
Not
check,
a
bro.
day, but like a
Whatever
year.
you want, Bob
Yeah.
Lazar, he was working on it.
Mhm.
You couldn't touch
Yep, reverse engineering.
the thing, man. I had a gravitational field. I couldn't even approach it, or whatever. It just pushed
Element
you away.
115. Yep.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yes.
And then it
So
was
Yeah.
come out like last year, a couple years, and it actually is proven to be true. And
yeah, so you go find this guy that was a preacher. You know he's in trouble, depression wise, mind wise, financially, and you start grooming him, feeding him information to be
tell me, yeah, believe me, they're
I
they have
could see it.
evil knows no bounds.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
whatever it takes, man,
No,
for
they can
ultimate power.
manipulate someone from the very beginning to now.
Yeah,
Like
and you
said,
wouldn't know
useful
it.
Idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know it. Especially a guy like that. That's so, like I said, that's why I said that earlier at the beginning of this episode. Is he's so trusting, and just a
Yeah,
nice,
the
genuinely nice
perfect-
guy. He's a perfect
you know what?
patsy
He might be the ultimate patsy, but he's telling the truth. But he's been
as he sees
brainwashed.
it. Yeah,
Yes.
the truth as he's
So that's why
experienced
The
it.
truth
comes
is
off
relevant to
genuine
where how
because
you
it
feel.
is.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Um,
Yeah.
To cap this off, if aliens show up this weekend,
Yeah.
what alien dystopian film would you prefer it be like? I'll go first. I would like for it to be like Independence Day. I think that'd be rad.
I was kind of thinking that one too. I'm
You know?
trying to think, but that seems like
what
the
about
best
you?
kick. That's kind of feeling the same way. We kind of come out and we kind of kick some butt there, we might take a good whooping. Got a black eye. Great speech. That was one of my great. Still one of my
That's right.
favorite movies ever. But yeah, I would.
Yeah, welcome
But
to
then
Earth.
again, listen. If only Independence Day, if 2 and 3 and whatever ones don't happen, as long as there's no Independence Day
Yeah,
2.
there's only
Alright.
one.
Because I don't want
The
none of that
second one
crap.
goes into a one world order. So
We better go home and tell his friends they're bad. You don't want to
What-
mess with them.
Is that your film too?
Well, I would say yes, but go ahead.
Mine's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the old Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
I would hope it'd be a revelatory, peaceful. We're here. The government can't deny it anymore. Deal with it.
Well,
Get ready to be probed.
I kind of thinking about this. It might be signs because honestly, if all I gotta do is go to Walmart and get my kids a super soaker,
Yeah.
like guys,
Quick.
we could make a ton. We just gotta start making plastic squirt guns, and you just
Grab an
The
ice
prob-
mountain.
The problem I
We're
had with
already in
that
the
movie.
area of expertise and part of their like what make it manufacture these things, you know. We got unlimited supply of water, but the data centers will eat it all up, and then they'll take us over. Well, now maybe Signs might be better than Independence Day because you know a lot of people died in Independence Day. I'm not sure how many people died in Signs. Like
I
I
think
know his
quite a bit.
wife.
I
Uh,
think quite a bit because they mention casualties because people fought back. Like on the news, it's very brief, or it's on the radio. People fought back, but they figured out a way to defeat them. But yeah, the problem I had with that watching Signs as an adult was when he started seeing, like, he saw the leg in the cornfield and everything. Me as a gun owner, I mean, I'll be honest, like, if I saw a green leg, I'm like, nah,
pop, pop,
good.
pop, pop.
I don't need a super soaker.
Right.
But yeah, you
Yeah.
just the
You guys are
morning dew
bloodthirsty.
would
You
burn
want
their
that?
feet.
You want it
So
to be like that?
No, I just said it. He's like Independence Day, and he's like got. I'm like I don't even have a jet airplane nor how to fly one. I'm not even standing a
hey,
chance
no, no,
of
no, we're
Independence
good
Day.
here in Indiana. This all happens in New York
Well,
and the
It's
Indianapolis is
different.
right.
close enough.
It's
This
only
thing is
in
blowing up,
massive
probably.
Yeah,
I
population
mean,
centers.
yeah,
It's not
we won't see
here.
much action if any here. We'll just
I
be
might have a
watching.
barbecue then. I don't even know. I don't know how I feel
Yeah,
about this point. If it's gonna pick out all the big cities, like this might be. I'm like, well, I might have to buy these guys a steak.
Where are they going to come from, man? Where's these orbs going to come from? He said that the oceans, the
the ocean.
water, the land, the sky, just out of the ether, out of the other dimension. You
I
know,
think interdimensional would be the best thing, but honestly,
that's
I
the
just think
thing. Yeah, they just
I
blip
would.
in, dude. They
Okay,
don't
so
need anything to come out of.
you remember in the 80s and not, or it is the 90s when the internet just came around. There was a guy in Britain who had hacked into NASA and everything else, and he'd gotten into secret government documents just by the word password, just by typing in password because government employees are that dumb.
Hmm.
And they're in some of the documents that was released, and he'd found listed non-terrestrial officers, or yeah, so non-terrestrial officers. So basically, our territory, like you know,
Yeah,
our
yeah,
territory, right, would be my interpretation of it. But doesn't mean extra. Like we got extraterrestrials, but doesn't extra. I mean, it just means extra territory, right? So, but there's you know, like I said, bigger. Our globe is bigger than what they say. You know, it's, like I said, it's
Yes,
wrapped around.
definitely
Like
is.
you know, it can be bigger. So we're confined to this one little area. So they have all kinds of places to go around. I mean, even Admiral Byrd said there's a place in the United States, and that's just what he's seen. And that's not
Yes,
even saying all that he's seen either, because he can only go fly so far. He couldn't fly unlimited, you know. So I mean, I'm gonna
yeah. There's a
take, I
landmass
would,
within our country that we can't see and go to
yeah. And he said
and fly over.
From South America, which was the closest way you can get to Antarctica, and you keep going. But he said with the technology they had, and believe me, I actually would trust Admiral Byrd over anything because you're just not going to go and say that, even if like he was a Mason or whatever. He still said it. Like that's just not something that you're not gonna say without reputation. His honor was everything back in the day. You know, he had everything to lose. So
Right.
he's just not going to sit there and say it. And he didn't come across to me as a liar. He always come across to me as a honest, trustworthy man. So. And he was
Admiral
known as our
Byrd.
greatest explorer ever.
Admiral Byrd, you're talking about?
Yeah, Admiral
Yeah,
General. Yeah, Admiral
yeah,
Byrd. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
I mean, even with Chris Bledsoe, Admiral Byrd even kind of had his. He was kind of predated, but had you know that's I just base all my thoughts and beliefs on credible sources from all different times, especially back in those days when people actually had integrity. Seemed like.
said what they meant what they said.
Well, though people say what they mean what they say all the time nowadays. They're just mean about it, you know. Like I said, having integrity, doing the right thing when no one's around, not just doing the right thing when people are looking.
When the camera's on.
Yep, and he did both.
yep. Yes, sirs. Well, any other comments or anything, gentlemen?
No sirree.
I got my nope. Nope. I think we're all set here. We're not prepared at all for anything major at my house, so let's just
I
hope.
mean, yeah, cross our
Maybe is
fingers.
really
So,
anyone prepared? I
I don't
mean,
have any extra water, food, nothing like that. So depending on how the government wants to play this one, I'm at their mercy.
yeah.
Fingers crossed, guys. It's a good thing, not a bad
oh,
thing.
yeah, fingers crossed. All right, that's it for News Alert. Peace out.
See you guys.
Later.